Welcome back to episode 4 of a journey through Papua New Guinea history. My name is Camelo Gima. In our last episode, we talked about the attack on Mailu village by Spanish sailors in the year 1606. But there is still more to tell. Today, I want to share with you a story that very few people in Papua New Guinea know about. It is a story in two parts. First, there is the reconciliation ceremony that the Mailu people decided to hold in 2006, exactly 400 years after the Spanish attack. But what is more amazing is what happened after that. The second part of this episode is about how this ceremony turned into something even bigger, the national holiday that we now call Repentance Day. Most people in Papua New Guinea have no idea why August the 26th was chosen as Repentance Day. The real story is deeply rooted in our history. This episode is about how even a small village can shape the course of a whole nation. I'm sure you will find it interesting. It might even surprise you.
As Camelo mentioned, there are two parts to this story. The first part is about how in 2006 the Mailu people organised a special ceremony to commemorate the attack on their village by the Spanish. The second part of our story will explain how the 2006 reconciliation ceremony is directly connected to the Papua New Guinea public holiday called Repentance Day. The Spanish attack on the village of Mailu in August 1606 wasn't just another moment in history. It left a lasting mark on the people. The painful memory of the Spanish raid has been passed down through generations. It remains part of Mailu oral history, a story that has endured for more than 4 centuries. The idea of conducting a reconciliation ceremony began in 2005 at a Bible translation workshop at Boru village near Mailu. During discussions, the Spanish attack in 1606 was mentioned, and church leaders of Papua New Guinea, together with their colleagues who were visiting from New Zealand, saw an opportunity to do something about it. They believed there was a chance to bring peace to the memory of those terrible events by holding a meeting of conciliation between representatives of Spain and the Mailu people. The timing was perfect. The ceremony would take place in August on the 25th and 26th, exactly 400 years after the Spanish attack. David Loea and Ian Onaga were two of the chief organisers. They had strong support from visiting colleagues from New Zealand. The gathering took place at Ogabada Beach, where the Spaniards first came ashore in 1606. The government of Spain didn't want to send any official representatives, but it was arranged through the Spanish embassy in Canberra for a Spanish missionary named Maria Tapeas to come as a representative of her country. She couldn't speak English, so she was accompanied by an Australian missionary, Deborah Williams, who acted as her translator. And so, on the 25th of August 2006, the reconciliation ceremony began. A special stage was built from where the reconciliation ceremony was conducted. Dancers in traditional dress welcomed the visitors. Many speeches were made recalling the Spanish invasion 400 years earlier. And after this came the moment of symbolic reconciliation. Maria Tapeas apologised on behalf of Spain and symbolically returned bananas, a woven mat and coconuts to the Mailu people. These were items that she had bought earlier. She returned them as a token of what the Spanish had stolen from them. Here is another scene from the ceremony showing Maria kneeling in repentance while the people watch in silence. 4 elders of the Mailu people, descendants of those who had suffered in 1606, stepped forward and accepted Maria's apology, for what her ancestors had done to their people. To seal the moment, a spear was broken and a clay pot was smashed, powerful symbols that reconciliation had taken place. It was a very moving time for the hundreds of people who were watching. Then followed a great celebration. There was singing, dancing, feasting, and gift-giving. But, and this is the second part of our story, it wasn't just about the past. People also used this moment to heal personal and community relationships and wanted it to go even further. For those involved, especially the church leaders, this event was about more than just Mailu and Spain. One of the key figures, Reverend Robert Sanasi, saw an even deeper meaning in what had happened. He declared that August 26th should not only be a day of reconciliation between Spain and the Mailu people. He and other church leaders felt that this act of forgiveness, this idea of saying sorry, of seeking healing, was something the whole nation needed. The church leaders began to wonder, what if the whole of the country had a day like this? A day to say sorry, not just for this one event, but for the many wrongs of the past. And that is exactly what happened. 1 year later, on the 26th of August 2007, church leaders, including Reverend Robert Sanasi, came together at the All-Pacific Prayer Assembly in Port Moresby. There, something historic took place. They drafted and signed a covenant between the people of Papua New Guinea and the God of Israel. Prime Minister Michael Somare signed it too, and August 26th became known as Covenant Day in Papua New Guinea. The 26th August was chosen because it was linked to the Reconciliation Day ceremony held that same day, exactly 1 year earlier, on Mailu. But it didn't stop there. 4 years later, on the 15th of August 2011, after a request from a group of churches, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill made a decision. Covenant Day, August 26th, was renamed Repentance Day, and it was officially declared to be a national public holiday. What had begun as a local reconciliation ceremony on Mailu had now become a nationwide day of prayer and repentance. It's remarkable to think about how history flows. What started as an act of violence in 1606, 400 years later, in 2006, became a story of forgiveness, and ultimately led to a National Day of Prayer in 2011. And now, every August 26th, the people of Papua New Guinea observe Repentance Day, a special day that would not exist but for the events that took place on the shores of Mailu.
That is the end of our story about the reconciliation ceremony and how it is linked to Repentance Day and why it is on the 26th of August each year. But there is more. If you are interested, there is a YouTube video of the 2006 Mailu ceremony, and you are welcome to watch it. David Loia provided the video, which was taken by Collins Agonia. You will see the YouTube link at the end. To watch the video, simply click on the link. I will see you again in episode 5.